You're listening to Ask Dr. Jake. My name is Dr. Jake Tucker. I'm the owner and founder of Good Life Family Chiropractic here on the south side of Lincoln. And we're coming to you today with another message of hope, health, and wholeness. And today is the fourth day of wellness. And so what I wanted to do today, yesterday we talked about the three things on the third day of wellness that you should never eat. And today on the fourth day of wellness, I want to make sure that we're getting four things inside of your bodies from your diet, from your nutrition, from the foods that you're putting in your body on a daily basis. And if you're not, then give you an opportunity to set that up and supplement with those, which now is the perfect time because we've got holiday sales going all month. That kicked off last week with our Black Friday sales and our Thanksgiving specials. And today we're coming to you with just more incentives to be healthy. That's how I always talk about it with my patients. It's not that I want to sell you anything. I just want to teach you how I think, teach you how to be healthy, how to focus on health and our body's innate ability to heal, God-given innate ability to heal. Because when you talk about the Creator and everything that He's given us, you talk about the ability to create something out of nothing. You talk about the ability to form cartilage. You talk about the ability to grow a heart or grow lungs, to come out of two single cells that join together and form one single cell and then duplicate and replicate themselves, differentiating into 36 trillion different cells, this living, loving, thinking clay that can sit across the radio from one another while driving or while working or while doing the dishes or whatever you do when you listen to me on weekday mornings, or if you're catching the replay in the evenings, just whatever you're able to do, that is all God given. And so we give praise and honor and glory to God with all the healing that happens here in this office. We talked about headaches yesterday and how those don't have a home here, because when we address the cause, we're actually able to see those go away completely and forever. And that's what I want for you. I want you to be able to be healthy and well. And so we'll set you up with everything that you need. That starts with our phone number. That's 531-289-7100. If you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, pick up the phone right now and give us a call. I'm standing by to take your phone call. If you don't get me right away, leave a voicemail or send me a text, and I will follow up just as soon as I get a free minute, because I'm also working with patients at this moment to make sure that they are healing and well, removing the interference from their bodies. And so if you want that to be you as well, pick up the phone, call our office. Again, 531-289-7100. We'll make sure to give you the largest legal available discount so that you can begin to see what the interference is to that healing process, so that we can step out of the way, remove the interference, and let God do the healing. And so I did want to talk to you guys today about another common issue that so many of our patients deal with. And an old patient that came back to me from years and years ago, the problems returned. She'd been in, actually met her at a craft show, a craft fair here in Lincoln. And actually, I met her husband there, and he heard everything I was talking about. And he was like, I'm going to set up an appointment for me, but really, I want this for my wife. So I was like, okay, yeah, what's she do? What's going on with her? And it turns out she's a college professor, which, always throws up a big red flag, because when you talk about interference, education, is one of the greatest interferences to the healing process. The more you know about how something works, while it can allay fears, it also can be a block, because God heals us innately, not through a learned logic. Remember, when you're a baby, you heal, you grow. You don't have to know how to do that, because God does that through you. But as we age, we start to break down, and we start to do things like, I was taught in school, if you twist an ankle, you do rest, ice, compression, elevation, and support, RICEs. Well, it turns out, schools teach what was true in the literature about 20 years prior, that now the research is showing that 4 out of those 5 things can actually interfere with the healing process and slow down healing if done too much or done the wrong way, or if done at all. It turns out that your body's ability to heal a twisted ankle is far greater than if we interfere with that by using ice, or we interfere with that with the blood flow by compressing it too much. We elevate it too much, and now it's harder for your body to get blood flow to the foot. The support, if you do it wrong or you support it too much, it doesn't strengthen, it doesn't recover the way that it should. Whereas if you just leave it alone and you rest is the key in rices. If you rest your foot, it will heal. The pain that it's feeling, if you block that with ibuprofen, you're more likely to hurt it. It damages the kidneys. It makes healing harder, even though it feels better. And so what we've learned is that if we treat a symptom, you heal slower. But if we let God do the healing, remove any interference, right? If I broke my ankle, I need to have that set back in place and put a cast on that. Remove that interference, then leave it alone. Rest it. Allow God to work, and it's going to happen. But this patient, Cynthia, she's one of my favorite people in the world. Even when she was gone, she was one of our biggest fans, caught every single show. She's probably listening right now, so huge shout out to you, Cynthia. But she was having such severe nerve issues that she could not feel the floor. And then on top of that, her feet hurt, like this shooting sharp pain, kind of almost running down her leg, but just lower in the foot. And nobody had ever evaluated her spine to see if there was any interference in the nervous system that was keeping her from healing. And so we got her in, we did an exam, and we saw, first off, that her back, even though her back didn't hurt, it was completely disabled. She had very little motion forward or backward in her low back. And that's a huge red flag when talking about neurological control over everything below that area. Because if you just immobilize a joint, if it's stuck, now it can't get out that nerve flow going down there. Then we looked at her neck. Her neck was going the wrong direction. It was stretching out her spinal cord, putting a pathological tension on her spinal cord, but she didn't hurt except for in her feet. She had some other health issues going on. She was pre-diabetic. She was dealing with, some heart issues, mostly just under control with medication. But when she heard me talk about health and she heard, what it was that was creating the problem, creating the cause of her problem underneath, then she began to get serious about this thing and start addressing the cause. And so we looked at her spine. We ended up taking some x-rays, and we saw that what we needed to do, that enabled us to build out a plan for her. We sat down, we started to do it. We had scheduled her first adjustment for the week before Thanksgiving, back in, I want to say 2017. And she called up to say that she was not feeling well and wouldn't be able to make it for that visit. And I believe it was my sister took the phone call. She said, Cynthia, you will actually feel better after an adjustment, because the adjustment actually removes sufficient interference that your immune system functions better. And most people walk away without the symptoms of the flu or the cold or whatever infection they're dealing with. And she said, well, I guess I should come in. So she rescheduled that appointment to a little bit later because she had already missed it. And she came in, we got her adjusted, and then she went into Thanksgiving weekend, not even having seen her x-rays, but knowing that there was a problem and that there was something that we could do that would allow her to heal better. And when she came back for her next visit to review her x-rays and go through the plan to get correction in her spine, she told me that during Thanksgiving, she was walking around barefoot, and she remarked to her family just how weird the floor felt on her feet. And they said, Cynthia, you're feeling the floor. That's incredible. And that was all after one adjustment. I didn't fix the problem in one adjustment, but what I did is removed enough interference that all of a sudden life that had been stopped up inside of her brain, couldn't get through her neck properly, couldn't get through her low back properly, was all of a sudden able to flow down and into her feet and provide that feeling for the very first time in years. And that's the same transformation that I want for every single one of you, is I want you to be able to see that. Now, some of that came back, right? Because she wasn't able to stay under care long enough to get that full correction, full healing, and get that full restoration of her spine. But she's back, and she's dedicated to doing this and making sure that we get full correction this time. And not only that, but maintaining it into health. Some of you have been to chiropractors, got a crack. Maybe it even hurt a little bit because of all the inflammation and arthritis that had built up in the spine. You said, chiropractic doesn't work. That kind of chiropractic doesn't work. Using chiropractic as a pain management technique, using it as an aspirin, using it as a Tylenol, Sometimes you feel better after an adjustment, but let me tell you, I've had some of my best adjustments were the ones that hurt the most in the moment, but did the most to correct me and remove the interference from my spine in that moment. And some of you need that. If you're like Cynthia and you're dealing with a chronic health issue, like not being able to feel your feet or having that radiating pain down your leg, some of you have sciatica, then pick up the phone and call the office right now, 531-289-7100. And no, I didn't forget about you. I know we just have a couple of minutes left. I do want to go through these 4 key nutrients that I want you to get over this holiday season. So on the 4th day of wellness, your chiropractor gives to you, number 1, vitamin D, and specifically vitamin D3. If you're looking at your cereal box or you're looking at a food and it says vitamin D2, you're getting the wrong version. Vitamin D is a hormone. It's an essential hormone, meaning that your body does not produce it on its own. It needs sunlight in order to produce it. And if you're not getting access to sunlight, like right now during this time of year where everything turns cold and you don't go outside without your shirt on, you don't go out in a swimsuit anymore, you're not getting enough sunshine to create sufficient levels of vitamin D3. You need during the holiday season at least 5,000 IUs a day to keep your D3 levels at healthy levels. Let me say that again. You need 5,000 IUs per day to keep your vitamin D3 levels at healthy levels. I'm not talking about just preventing rickets. I'm talking about levels that have been shown to keep the immune system functioning at a high level, preventing things, reducing your risk of things like cancer by as much as 77%, according to research from the University of Creighton. This is published, peer-reviewed research. You need vitamin D3 and you need it in sufficient levels. So if you take a vitamin D3 supplement and it only says 400 IUs, or if you take a vitamin D3 supplement and it only says 1,000 IUs, you are severely diminished and at higher risk of infection from just about anything. Number 2, curcumin. Curcumin is the yellow that you see in mustard coming from the turmeric root plant. It is one of the highest antioxidant nutrients available. It's anti-inflammatory. Oftentimes when people take curcumin, it also reduces their pain levels. And it's best absorbed in the presence of black pepper extract. And so if you're not getting that, and I'd say if you're just getting it through mustard, you're probably not getting enough. We incorporate curcumin into virtually every single one of our supplements. It's in our multivitamin, it's in our curcumin, it's in our daily defense, all supplements that we provide to patients as a recommendation to make sure that you're getting not just those base nutrients, but also the ones that help to create health and keep your immune system functioning at a high level. Number 3 is going to be collagen. Your body produces collagen naturally, meaning that it is not an essential nutrient, but what we see is that as we age, we have a tendency to grow less and less healthy versions of collagen. We need to support that by supplementing that in through our diet. Bone broth is a great source. You can also just eat a lot of foods that have collagen in that, or you can supplement with a healthy natural source of collagen. You want to make sure that's coming from a grass-fed, grass-finished cow or a pasture-raised chicken or turkey. You can do this from virtually anything, but you want a pure source of collagen coming from a healthy meat source if you're getting it from your meat source. And the last one is L-glutamine. L-glutamine is one of the most common amino acids required for life in the human body, and so you need to get this from the outside. Now, if you eat a healthy meat-filled diet, you're going to get a lot of this from the meats that you eat. But if you're a vegetarian, you're going to have to find this from other sources. All of these can be found on our store, on our website. That's goodlifefamilychiropractic.com/store. And we'll help you from there. You can order just about anything at a discount right now. If you have any questions about which supplements you should be taking, call our office, 531-289-7100. You have a great day and God bless.